Hello everyone, it's Vicki here today designing for Pinkfresh Studio, and I am using the Happy Hearts collection. I love this pale minty green paper mixed with this pink floral. So those are going to be the base of my layout. I want to have mostly the green on the background with a bit of that floral sticking out of the bottom. And yeah, I've got some photos that are black and white, so I just wanted to do a very soft layout here. So I'm just going to start to stick these things down. I'm taking the manufacturer's strip off of my white cardstock, and then I'm going to take a bit off of the top of that green as well because I haven't ripped it quite far enough down. And once I'm happy with that, I'll start assembling. Now I did a bit of pre-planning before I did this layout, and I sort of had an idea in my head before I got to it of what bits and pieces I was going to use. So there are my photos. There's one of me with our dog Buster and one of my husband as well with Buster. And I think they look really nice in black and white. And I want to use this tag at the top, hanging down, but I think it's a little bit big for what I want. So I do trim that down a little bit. And you'll see there, just trim the edges as well. Make sure it looks even, and then I'm happy with that. Okay, and of course I'm going to put some string into the tag, and I just tie that off in a bow because I think this is such a pretty layout that it needs a bow. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to start to think about some embellishments. I love that little love title. It's sort of got gold pieces on it, which makes it look really pretty in the lights. And I'm going to cut out a couple of flowers from this sheet of paper, which I'll cut through, but I'm just going to tuck those under. Just two flowers and one leaf sprig. So you can see that they're quite easy to cut out. And put that under there. There you go. So they're cut out now. And I'm going to have a look at the florals and see what else I can put onto this layout. And these little floral pieces there that I'm getting out sort of really well match that pink paper. So I'm just playing at the moment. Things do change, but I'm just playing with what I've got. And I've got that family piece up on the tag, which is where I wanted to put that. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how this is looking. It's very simple, but I like it because it's very soft and it's almost feminine, even though it's got my husband and my male dog. But I like it. I'm a flower girl. Okay, so I'm going to start to stick things down. And first of all, my background paper. I'm going to stick that first. And then I haven't put the tape right to the bottom. I've left a gap so that I can then put the floral piece underneath. Just tuck it in like that. Okay, so I'm going to put my photos onto tissue paper just to add a bit of extra texture on the page. And just cut around that. I always do it freehand. I even cut my photos out freehand if I print two to a page. I don't worry about perfection. Okay, so just trimming that up a little bit. I like the sides to be even, but if they're not quite straight, it doesn't really matter. There we go. That's the two photos in place. And I'm going to put some foam on the back of them, just to pop them up off the page and add that extra dimension. This is just sticky back foam, sticky on one side and foamy on the other. So I stick it to the item I want to put on my page, and then I use glue to stick it to the page. There we go. I like that. I'm going to use double-sided tape to stick those down. Sometimes I use glue as well, but there's no other real dimension there before they go on, so I was happy to just use my tape. Okay, I'm also going to put some foam onto my tag to lift that off the page, but it's also going to hang off of the page, so I don't want to put the foam on the whole tag. I'll cut that off later. Okay, so I'm going to put some foam just on one side of this tag. It says always want to remember this. Now it's going to rest on the photo, so that's why it only needs foam on one side. And I love that little sentiment. And we'll start to reassemble the flowers that I'd chosen. And I do make a little bit of a change here with what I use. So we put some foam onto the back of this title that says love, and I'll skip through that because it took me a little while with all the twisty turny bits that go on it. At least I think I skipped through it, possibly not. No, you get to watch me do it by the look of it. How fun for you. Okay, so yeah, so it's just a case of putting something around on the little fiddly bits and sort of covering the majority of it. I don't cover absolutely the whole of it, but most of it there. And that's going to go above the title and below the tag. So I'm sticking down as I go now because I know how I want this to look. I already had the whole look of the layout in my head before I started. So this is a nice quick one for me. I'm not usually so decisive. There we go, so I've cut that top tag off and that fits on the page now, and I'm going to stick down these florals just with wet glue. That's Scotch tacky glue in a fine line bottle that I use there. And stick a bit of everything down. And then I decided to use this bigger floral at the top because I want it to overlap the tag, but it needs to be quite significant because it's a big tag. And I just cut a tiny bit of the white off by that leaf so that I can bend the leaf up and add some extra texture on that. And stick that down, and then family will go over the top of it. And I have to put a bit of foam on the L and the Y because that's going to hang off the tag. And the tag is obviously on foam, so it just needs that extra lift. And it doesn't matter what colour foam you use because no one sees it. I really love this collection. It's so versatile. I've made lots of very different layouts using it. And yeah, it's just, you can get a different feel each time. So it's really nice. Okay, so just going to add some extra florals in here and there. One's going to tuck in under the tag there at the top. And then I'm going to balance that out by putting another one to the left of the photo. And with a layout like this, I think it's all about balancing, just to make sure that you know, you get the vertical effect, but it's balanced all the way down. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is add a puffy sticker. That one says Happy Little Moments, and I'm going to pop that one right there. I think about using another one, but I don't. And enamel dots. What's a layout without some enamel dots? So I had 3 pink ones up at the top. I just sort of tucked them behind the floral up there. And I put 3 green ones down on the bottom left around the floral next to the photo. And I think that's it. We're going to see the final layout. There it is. I really hope it inspires you to use your Happy Heart collection and to use black and white photos. You know, some photos have too many colours in, so it's nice to use black and white so that they'll match what you're using. And you can see the close-ups a little bit there. There aren't very many, but they're all there. If you have any questions at all, please do shout out to me, and I'll link the products I've used in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Vicki for Pinkfresh. Bye bye.